Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. So this video is going to be about this whole Jemele Hill situation. Jemele Hill of ESPN. She was on His and Hers. I don't think it's His and Hers anymore. It might be Sports Center now or something like that. I don't watch ESPN. I don't keep up with that shit. That shit's mad racist, as we can all see. But Jemele Hill is a sports commentator, and a couple days ago, she called Donald Trump a white supremacist on Twitter, and everybody lost their minds because she called Donald Trump a white supremacist. Apparently, this was news to a lot of people, and the White House called for her to get fired for what she said. ESPN said that they're not firing her, but they did offer, they issued an official apology for what she said, and she also issued an apology via Twitter. So basically, she called Donald Trump a white supremacist, and she did like a whole series of tweets, like a whole thread of tweets, backing up her statement as to why he's a fucking white supremacist, and like, these are all the reasons, and like, this is all the shit that was done. And then you had like a bunch of other people that was chiming in, and they were talking about like the Central Park Five, which was the black and non-black Latinx kids that got accused of fucking raping this jogger, and Donald Trump took out like multi-million-dollar like full-page ads in the New York Times talking about how they should get executed, how they should get the fucking death penalty in New York, like wild shit. Like, he's a racist, like he's a white supremacist, like we all know this, but people don't want to hear that. There's a rumor that ESPN tried to get her off the air Wednesday night, but that her co-host, Michael Smith, refused to do the show without her. Now, this is just a rumor. And that ESPN also, like, reached out to some other black people on the staff to do it, and that, like, they also refused to do it, and that ESPN didn't want to put white people on because they felt like it would look bad, which it would have, especially in light of, like, the whole Colin Kaepernick situation, like, him being blackballed. Like last month, ESPN had like a live fantasy football auction, which was horrible. It was like some Get Out shit. Like fantasy football, the way that like fantasy football auctions work is like regular people, you know, they like bid on players and they like assemble a fantasy team, and you can have like a fantasy team of players from like all different like teams and stuff. And it's basically like how many points do they like score, and like the things that they do, like their personal stats. Like you make a team kind of almost of like your personal favorites based off like their personal stats to make like your own kind of like super team. And fantasy football is like this huge like fucking billion-dollar industry that ESPN has like really been cashing in on. Somebody had the bright idea to do a live auction, which was basically like some Get Out shit, a room full of fucking white people like bidding on these like black players like Odell Beckham. It was like really bad. Like ESPN is really fucking up their optics right now. So obviously, if this rumor is true, which I think it is, they decided to go against having Jemele Hill and Michael Smith, both of them not be on. And like when there are like two other black people that they asked said no, they like, we can't have white people, it would just be too much. So Jemele Hill and Michael Smith did the show like they normally do. But the first thing I want to say about this is that ESPN is like losing a lot of viewers right now, and they're trying to figure out how to play both sides of the field, right? Which I think is very, very interesting, because the majority of the viewers of these like sports and these sports shows, just like we saw when Tamir Rice got killed, may he fucking rest in peace, you know, and the Cleveland Browns, which are no longer in, they're no longer in Cleveland anymore, not the Browns, the Rams that are no longer in Cleveland. You know, they came out with the hands up, don't shoot, and the shirts that said, like, justice for Tamir Rice, and the white football fans lost their fucking shit, right? Like, you have the viewers of these sports that are these racist white rednecks, like, look at how they reacted to Colin Kaepernick, who's literally being, like, blackballed, like, he cannot get hired, especially in fucking football, which is, like, America's fucking pastime. However, the majority of these players are black, so you also have, like, a substantial black fan base, and it's, like, how do you keep everyone happy, right? You can't. You can't keep everyone happy. People want to keep politics and race and shit out of it, but just like I said in my It's Everywhere video, this shit is everywhere. It's everywhere. There's nowhere you can go to escape it. Our entire society, literally everything from the ground up, from the sports to the fucking entertainment, everything is built on this racist foundation, especially sports. though, when you really start getting down to like the nitty gritty of sports, like in a lot of ways that shit is also motherfucking modern day slavery, and it's only going to become more and more evident as time goes on. So it's not going to get better. Like, it's not going to get better. People trying to like figure out like, how can I appeal to everyone? Like, you can't appeal to everyone. We're really reaching the point of the game where you kind of have to pick your side and motherfucking stick to it. You know, there's no more of this, I'm colorblind and I don't see race and I'm not political and I'm not playing the field and I just want to watch my sports and I just, like, we're past the point of no return. We've passed the tipping point, as Malcolm Gladwell would say. Like, we're past that. Like, we're past that in 2017 with Donald Trump as president. You can't just, like, idly sit by at the dinner table with your Trump supporter parents and say, we're not going to talk about politics. Like, it's not going to work. And I also want to say that this is another example of the double standard, wherein it's perfectly fine and acceptable to spout racist ideology, which I've definitely talked about on this channel before, but it's completely unacceptable to call that ideology out, right? It's perfectly acceptable for Donald Trump to call all Mexicans rapists, right? It's perfectly acceptable for him to refuse to denounce Nazism and literal white supremacy, right? But it is unacceptable to then call Donald Trump a white supremacist, right? Like, people lose their minds when you call out fucking racism, but they're willing to let actual racism slide. They think that being called racist, being called a racist, being called a white supremacist is worse than actually being those things, right? Like, it's wild. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, it's ridiculous. There's been a whole bunch of shit going on YouTube right now with these white YouTubers getting caught saying the N-word, which I'm definitely going to do a full video on. Kathleen Lights, who's a white Latinx beauty guru chick, PewDiePie or PewDiePie, however the fuck you pronounce that shit, motherfucking Felix dumbass, who's like the most well-known, most subscribed YouTuber who screamed out nigger on a fucking live stream. But then people want to be like, no, you can't call them racist. That's not fair. Like, it's worse to call them racist. It's like, well, but they're the ones screaming out nigger, like on the stream. Like, they did it. They did it, you know? Like, I'm definitely going to do a full video on that, on my thoughts on that, you know? But it's like, these people come out of the woodworks talking about, like, oh, but they didn't mean it, and they should be able to keep their endorsements, and blah, 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 and it's not fair, and how it's not fair to call them racist, and how it's not fair that Jemele Hill called, you know, Donald Trump a fucking white supremacist. It's like, but they did it. Like, they said it. Like, look at what these people are saying and doing. Like, look at what Donald Trump has done. He's a white supremacist, and it's genuinely absurd to say otherwise. It's fucking ridiculous. And it is wild that the White House is calling for her to be fired. That I also think is, like, one of the big, huge things about this whole situation, because I actually have what I know is going to be an unpopular opinion on her relationship with ESPN. Not the White House, but her relationship with ESPN. And my unpopular opinion is that I do think that ESPN is well within their rights to fire her. She did say something publicly on Twitter on her ESPN blue checkmarked account. And if you say these things publicly, you have to run the risk of the consequences of your statements. We always talk about freedom of speech and freedom of speech. And people have really, and I know I've talked about this on this channel before as well, people have really warped this idea of freedom of speech as just thinking they can say whatever they want without consequences. It's like, you can say whatever you want, and the government cannot censor you. The government cannot fucking throw you in jail. But your privately owned company, ESPN, that you probably signed some type of contract with when you got hired, that probably had some type of clause on the way that you act out in public, you know, things like that. You know, we're YouTubers, you know, we're on these platforms, we're utilizing these platforms, we're saying these things. We have to know, like, there's a certain amount of responsibility and a certain amount of consequences that come with the things that we say. We put our faces out there. But it's like, people don't want to deal with those consequences. They just want to talk. If you're going to talk, if you're going to, like, get down in the trenches with this revolution shit, you have to be willing to also deal with the fucking consequences of the things that you say and do. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm sure when Jemele Hill got hired by ESPN, she signed something, and I'm sure her conduct on the internet was mentioned, which again would then have them well within their rights to fire her. However, again, the way that the First Amendment works, the way that freedom of speech actually works, not the way that people like have decided in their mind that it works, which is just, I say whatever I want, is that the government is not supposed to be able to get involved. The government, again, they can't lock you up, they can't throw you in jail, they can't stop you from saying what you want to say, they can't shut down your Twitter account, none of that. So the White House calling for her to get fired absolutely crosses a line. The government cannot censor what you say. They cannot throw you in jail. They're not supposed to be able to influence your corporation, your business, your privately owned company to fire you. The way that this infrastructure is supposed to work, because we already know that, like, everything is fucked, is that they can't do that. So the fact that ESPN did not stand up for her against government infrastructure and issued an apology and tried to replace her, if you believe those rumors, which I do, that is trash to me. And I would argue that that is even a violation of her First Amendment rights. And that she probably even has a motherfucking lawsuit there, because the government making public statements about journalists being fired is completely different from ESPN, the private company. I'm not saying that ESPN is a privately owned company, because I know they're like a publicly traded company and they're owned by Disney and like all that other stuff. But like just in terms of like, she signed a contract with a private company that I'm sure had clauses and had rules, right? The government making public statements about journalists being fired is completely different from ESPN, the company that she signed a contract to work for, considering firing her. And the fact that the White House even made that statement and the ESPN like made that apology, and then like she made that apology, I really feel like now we're like heading down the actual road of censorship by the government, which is intense. And in my opinion, what she really should do, if she had some fucking self-respect, was resign. That's what I would do. I wouldn't have apologized. I'm not going to apologize. Again, I said what I said. I called him a white supremacist, and I'm standing by those statements. If you want to fucking fire me, fire me. Colin Kaepernick, you want to blackball me, blackball me. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit anyway. Like, I'm standing by my fucking statements. So I feel like she should have resigned. But that's just my opinion. And this whole thing is just like a fucking mess. And again, like I already said, it's just another example of racism being perfectly fine and acceptable, but then like calling out those racist ideologies, calling racism what it is, calling people what they are when they fucking do racist things and act in racist ways is somehow inappropriate. It's wild. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. It's really, really absurd. And I am definitely going to do a follow-up video going more in depth on this topic, and especially using the YouTube thing as an example, because it's just like, again, people think calling some shit racist is worse than actually being racist. Like, come on. Come on. She should resign. She's not going to, but she should. That's what I think about that. Of course, there's going to be links in the description box as always. There's going to be, again, a follow-up video on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Peace.